Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Matiang'i Media for today's stories and detailed analysis from Kenya and all the four corners of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our channel. If you're watching for the first time, always remember to subscribe and like this video. And without further ado, let's get to our today's analysis. Today, the Daily Nation has revealed that one of the close allies to UHURU Kenyatta and a Jubilee member has revealed that Matiang'i is the presidential candidate of 2027 for Jubilee party. Remember that Matiang'i is one of the close allies of UHURU Kenyatta. When Ruto disagreed in the second term of UHURU Kenyatta, Matiang'i is the one who came in and acted in the roles of the deputy president, and he could be even the one representing UHURU Kenyatta in high-profile meeting, even in other countries. Now, when Ruto made that visit to Ishagweri to meet former President UHURU Kenyatta, there was allegation that UHURU Kenyatta was going to support Ruto in the 2027 general election. But it's now coming out clear that it seems in that meeting there was no such agreement that came upon. Number one is that 2 days ago, UHURU Kenyatta himself urged Gen Zs to come out and fight for what belongs to them. Terms that even President Ruto yesterday came out and said that they were not good for a country, and they have opposed what UHURU Kenyatta was saying. Another reason is that UHURU Kenyatta never fronted or never agreed for Matiang'i to join Ruto's government. Because if there is one person who could get to this broad-based government and rescue a lot of things, one of the best cabinet secretaries in the UHURU Kenyatta's era was Matiang'i. If there was any person being considered by UHURU Kenyatta to join government, if indeed UHURU Kenyatta was going to support President Ruto, the first person he could have fronted was Matiang'i. But in that list of people, allies of UHURU Kenyatta joining government, Matiang'i was missing. And it was a question that a lot of Kenyans were asking why Matiang'i was not considered by UHURU Kenyatta. In any case, UHURU Kenyatta considered supporting Ruto. But now it's coming out that that's not the scenario. And Matiang'i, who in July of 2024 had lobbied a foreign company, a Canadian company called Dickens and Manson, to lobby his support from other countries to run his bid in the 2027 general election, is now the presidential candidate for Jubilee party. And what does this have in stake, especially for the Mount Kenya region voting basket? Remember that if Matiang'i is going to be the Jubilee candidate for the 2027 general election, then it means that automatically the running mate is going to come from the Mount Kenya region, because Jubilee party is perceived to be a Mount Kenya region party, because the party leader is UHURU Kenyatta. So there was the post we had seen earlier of Matiang'i and Ndindi Nyoro. Assuming that's the scenario, Matiang'i the president, Ndindi Nyoro the running mate. Will this coalition succeed without the likes of Rigathi and Kalonzo and Natembeya on the other side, and the President Ruto on this side? Let's say ODM at the end of the day also lobbies a candidate or joins with President Ruto. It's going to be very difficult. So the first step is that Jubilee has fronted Matiang'i. If it's going to front him as it's being said, then they have to go to getting into possible winning coalitions, and that one must include Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka to avoid division of the larger Mount Kenya voting bloc. And if Matiang'i is fronted by Kalonzo and Rigathi, then it's going to be a morning win for that coalition, because Matiang'i will come with the Kisii voting bloc of about 1 million votes, of course not huge, and also Matiang'i will attract votes across the entire nation, because as he's speaking, Matiang'i is well known. If you go to Trans Nzoia and ask Mama Mboga about Matiang'i, he or she knows Matiang'i very well. If you go to Coast and talk about Matiang'i, they know Matiang'i very well. He was the best performing minister during the times of UHURU Kenyatta, and the perceived second performing minister of the era after Michuki. So Matiang'i stands a very good country image, and is going to attract votes from the entire nation. Secondly, if Rigathi Gachagua comes into this coalition, maybe he's cleared and comes in as a running mate for Fred Matiang'i, then the Mount Kenya region is going to fully back or support that coalition. Reason being is that Mount Kenya region has no bad blood towards Matiang'i. They have no issue with Matiang'i like they've been having issues with Raila Odinga. And number two, they will come to vote bitterly of the frustration that Rigathi Gachagua has gone to that coalition. Their numbers will increase from the 47% they gave to President Ruto in the 2022 general election. It was about, they gave President Ruto about 3.5 million. Those numbers can increase up to 4 million. Then this coalition is going to be popularly very, very strong. Others, ladies and gentlemen, those are only but my opinion. You can tell me what you think about Fred Matiang'i being the Jubilee candidate for the 2027 general election. Do you think it's a good strategy? Do you think that Fred Matiang'i can pull support from the entire nation? Or do you think that Fred Matiang'i will divide the Mount Kenya voting block? Because also another possible scenario. If Fred Matiang'i fails to form a coalition with Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo Musyoka, will Fred Matiang'i divide the Mount Kenya voting block and give President Ruto and the Raila Odinga coalition way ahead of the Rigathi Gachagua and Kalonzo formed coalition? You can tell me in the comment section. I'll take my ample time to read and reply. Have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen.